So a male friend of mine said something to me recently about makeup, which made me really sit up and pay attention. So I'll tell you what he said in a moment. But first, welcome. My name is Sarah. I am passionate about helping women quit our crazy obsession with beauty, with skinniness, and with perfection. I share videos on this channel about living life more joyfully, with more confidence and more power. So if you're interested in seeing content like that, please remember to like this video and to subscribe. Okay, so let's climb in. My male friend said this about makeup, that he believed that at best, makeup gives women a 20% boost. So in other words, however you look, if you put on makeup, you are only going to improve your looks and enhance yourself by 20%. Now that number seemed really low to me and made me really interested, because for so long I wasted so much time and energy on makeup. I really believed that makeup was going to make a massive difference to my look, that makeup was going to transform me in some way. I really felt that it was necessary for me to wear makeup. If I didn't wear makeup, I felt naked, I felt ungroomed, I felt unprofessional, and I definitely didn't feel beautiful. So makeup was always very necessary for me and was something I paid a lot of attention to. So for so many years, I wore makeup all the time. Obviously, I wore it to work because we've been told repeatedly that if you don't wear makeup, you look unprofessional. You look unprofessional. So, I mean, who decided that? Who decided that? Where did that rule come from? But anyway, I blindly accepted that rule, and so I would wake up every morning with enough time to prepare myself, put on my full face of makeup, and go to work. So I used to wear makeup for work, of course, but I also wore makeup all the time. I wore it to go to the grocery store on a Sunday. And of course I wore makeup when I went on dates. Hello, of course. And I wouldn't, oh gosh, it's embarrassing to admit this, I wouldn't take my makeup off before bedtime because I wouldn't want my boyfriend to see me without makeup first thing in the morning. Heaven forbid. So now makeup for me was a mask to hide behind. It was a crutch. It was a tool that I used in order to be more beautiful. I really believed that beauty equals happiness, and I wanted to be happy. Therefore, I wanted to be beautiful. Now, it's not just me who believes that. That is the message that we incessantly receive in this world, that beauty counts, that beauty matters if you're a woman, and that beauty will bring you happiness. So there I was, wanting beauty and seeing makeup as a necessary tool that I needed to use in order to be more beautiful. Now, if you are a woman today, there are so many different things that you could be doing in order to be more beautiful. And I'm going to list those things here. But before I do, I just want to mention something. Now, that is that my husband wakes up every morning, and this is his routine. He brushes his teeth. He sometimes shaves. And then he goes to work to be amazing. That, as a man, is his routine. Now, as women, this is what we do. Okay, so first of all, if we want to be beautiful, we all know that we need to be thin. You cannot possibly be beautiful if you aren't thin. So we work very hard at dieting and losing weight. That is the first thing that we do. But then there's so many other things that we do when it comes to our bodies and our faces in order to be beautiful. And I'm going to start from the top. So we dye our hair, we color our hair, we straighten our hair. So now, as you can see, I've got curls. And for so many years, I used to Brazilian my hair. Never mind the formaldehyde. I used to Brazilian my hair, and I used to iron my hair straight most mornings because I really believed that only straight hair was beautiful. And I wanted to be beautiful. So then let's move downwards. Obviously, pluck our eyebrows. We use expensive creams and lotions because we need smoother skin. We need clearer pores. We need to fight the signs of aging and clear up all those pesky lines and wrinkles, of course. We need to have nose jobs. So now if you look at my nose, for years, I wanted to have a nose job because you can't be beautiful if you don't have a symmetrical, smooth nose, right? So we have nose jobs, we have lots of Botox and fillers, not just to fight aging anymore. It's now become something that we use to fundamentally change the shape of our faces so that we can look more like the Kardashians, so that we can look more like the Real Housewives. Also, people are having facelifts earlier and earlier. So years ago, facelifts was something that only 70-year-olds had. That's what I remember about facelifts. And now it seems that more and more celebrities in their 50s are having facelifts, having subtle, I think it's called a deep plane facelift, where you lift your jaw and then you get this really smooth jawline. Now, I was horrified when a female singer that I really admire, love her voice. She stood up at an awards ceremony recently and gushed about how grateful she was to her plastic surgeon for the very recent amazing facelift he had given her. Now, what horrified me was that the singer is 48 years old. She's 48 years old. So there's this beautiful woman who was beautiful before her facelift, and she has this huge worldwide audience. She has this platform, she has influence, and she was using her influence to normalize having a facelift at 48. I was horrified. But I also started thinking, I wonder what a facelift could do for me. That is how insidious and dangerous this beauty obsession is. So we have boob jobs, and if we can't afford boob jobs, then we wear push-up bras, we wear girdles, we wear our today version of the girdle, where we wear these support panties. I used to wear support panties. Sometimes they were even these cycling shorts, and I hated them. I hated these panties. They, first of all, were so uncomfortable and scratchy, but also I used to call them a fat displacer, because they just displace the fat. I mean, the fat got to go somewhere. We just end up with these rolls of fat at the top of the panties. But anyway, so we wear support panties and support underwear to make us look more beautiful. We worry about our thigh gap, or in my case, a non-existent thigh gap. We worry about cellulite. The list is just endless. There are so many things that we need to be doing in order to be more beautiful. Can you see how ridiculous it is? Can you see how ridiculous this crazy train obsession with beauty is? It's just never ending. You're going to go round and round and round. You do one thing, you're going to need to do another and another and another and another. Beauty crazy train. And I haven't even mentioned makeup. My belief is that of all the things that we can do to beautify ourselves as women, makeup is generally the easiest and the most accessible tool that we have in order to beautify ourselves. So most of us, most women, will use makeup to some degree during their lives. Okay, now I've got nothing against makeup. Let me say that straight out. I like makeup. I do sometimes use makeup. I'm not Pamela Anderson, who has sworn off makeup forever. I'm definitely not that. And besides, for so long we've been given rules to live by, rules that dictate how we're supposed to look, what we're supposed to do, what we're supposed to eat, how we're supposed to be as women, that I have no desire to discuss any kind of rules of what you should or shouldn't be doing. You are the boss of you. Wear makeup if you want to. I don't have an issue with makeup. What I have an issue with is our dependence on makeup. I have an issue with the fact that so many of us use makeup as a crutch in order to feel beautiful. I have an issue with us believing that makeup is a necessary step towards being beautiful. That is my issue. I generally don't wear makeup these days. I even go to business meetings. I run my own food business with my husband, and I even go to business meetings without makeup. And you know what? I haven't lost any clients because I don't wear makeup to meetings, and not wearing makeup has made zero difference to the profitability of my business. So these days, I don't wear makeup very often. I'd rather exercise, which I feel makes my skin glow. I'd rather eat natural foods as much as possible, and I'd rather focus on inner beauty. But as I mentioned, I do still wear makeup sometimes, and I enjoy dressing up sometimes. I enjoy playing around with eyeliner and bronzer and blush and so on. There's nothing wrong with that. The key thing that has changed for me is that I now love my face with or without makeup, and I mostly love it more without makeup. That is how I have evolved. That is the point that I would love to see women everywhere evolve to. So that is the main message that I wanted to give about makeup, that you are the boss of you. You get to choose if you want to wear makeup or not. But please don't be dependent on it. Please don't think that makeup equals beauty. Beauty comes from so many other things, not from makeup. But But I wanted to do a fun video as well, not just heavy stuff. And I thought, well, my male friend told me that it's only going to improve me by 20%. Now, genuinely, I genuinely don't know if that's true or not. I always thought it was like 80%. So I thought in this video, wouldn't it be fun if I do the first half of the video without makeup and the end part with makeup? And let's see if it makes a 20% difference or more. So what I'm going to do, wow, I actually haven't worn makeup in a couple of weeks, but I'm going to put makeup on now. This is the makeup that I generally use. So ta-da! This is the makeup that I would wear if I was going to wear makeup. Now, I actually think that my male friend was right. I think that at most I get a 20% boost from makeup, in that my features are enhanced by maybe 20%. I actually prefer myself without makeup, if I'm honest. Do you think it's a 20% improvement? Do you think it's less? Do you think it's more?